What's good, everybody? It is Wednesday, so you already know what time it is. It's time for the Why Not Podcast with your host, the voice goddess TQuest, the award-winning DJ El Nino, and Mr. R&B himself. Ladies and gentlemen, he finally getting his drops, DJ Cyclops.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's time for the Why Not Podcast. Why not? Why not? Why not? Why not podcast? Why not a podcast? Why not a podcast? Why not a podcast? With DJ El Nino podcast. With DJ El Nino, TQuest and DJ Cyclops. DJ Cyclops.
Why not? Why not? Why not?
Oh no.
Wait a minute.
What you talking about? Yeah, little switch it out. You know what I mean?
Oh.
Little switch up.
Oh.
Man, I'm here. You know what I mean? I'm here. What the hell not? Cyclops, what up, my brother?
Man, nothing. Chilling. That was,
Chilling?
yeah, Quest, you told me not to forget what I was gonna say, and this is why I'm not gonna forget, because what he just did.
What's that?
So I was on here practicing, doing what I do, blah blah blah.
Okay.
And then I heard you in the background, and I was like, you know what? I don't even want to do this no more.
It's not. Why, man? This is me.
I was like, I
we
don't even
cool.
want to. I want to just flip my table over and just like, pow.
Shout out to DJ Tez on the check-in.
Tez,
What up, Tez? What up, Tez?
I mean, it's just, still sharp and still. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it does. It does.
That's all.
It does. It does.
I'm telling you, it's all about how you look at it. It's all about how you look at it and how confident you are within yourself.
Facts.
Like if I'm performing and I see somebody killing it and I'm not that confident in the set I'm about to do, then I feel a little nervous. But if I'm confident in it, I don't care who else is on the bill. So it starts with self. It starts with self.
I'm saying, and real talk, I'm not the kind of person, unless it's necessary, that's going to clown you. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean?
Wait a minute.
I mean,
I think somebody's being petty.
It depends on the situation.
I'm a dead ass. If it's a competition situation, that's different. You know what I mean? If it's a competition situation, it's different. If I know folks are on the background talking real crazy about somebody, then I may want to make you feel a certain way. You know what I mean? You can practice the rest of your life, and you're not going to be as good as I am
Ooh.
10 years ago.
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying?
Ooh.
So, and if you want to, I'll pull out some of my tapes from 10 years ago and let you practice to try to get to where I was
But
at then.
I remember the very, very first conversation
The
that
very
me and you
first
had.
time.
Wow. The,
Talk to him,
the,
Cyclops.
the very first conversation that me and you had,
Yes, sir.
and I said, I'm trying to be like you someday. And you like, no, you can never be me, but I'm gonna get you to the best of you.
That's
I said,
facts. Yeah,
okay. No,
that's
I
facts.
think that.
I don't want you to be like me. I don't. I want you. I want you to be the best you that you can be. And I'm serious when I say that. I want you to be the best you that you can be. You don't have to be me. You don't have to be Lil Nino. You don't have to be none of that. You know what I'm
Even
saying?
though
Just
I've been deemed as Little Nino, I
I
don't know
know,
why.
I know, and I know that may hurt some people. Feelings.
That's funny because I was a whole individual, and then all of a sudden I'm Nino's girl, Nino's lady, Nino's fiance. As if I don't have my own identity anymore.
Yeah, like I was a whole person before that,
Right?
and now I'm Little Nino. Like,
Absolutely.
like, and then if it's both of y'all, I'm just bodyguard.
But
Yeah,
it's all
yeah,
compliments.
yeah. It
You know
is.
what I'm
It is.
saying?
It
It's all
is.
it's all about how you flex and how you receive and how you respond when people say things. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Let it
Mm-hmm.
marinate. That's right. Rub your beard. Let it
Mm-hmm.
marinate.
Because, like you said, you gone back and looked at your videos from 10 years ago. Like I've gone back and looked at my videos from 5 years ago. I'm like, oh.
I'm cringeworthy from videos from 3 years ago, but proceed.
I'm like, oh, this is not the same person, you know.
No,
Um,
it's not even close. You know what I
uh-uh.
mean? Because real talk, um, and speaking on me personally, real talk, I try to inspire and encourage. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Instead of try to hate and hinder. You know what I mean? That's for what? You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Because I'm already confident in self. You know what I mean? And I don't need to make myself more confident by bringing other people down because that's corny. I don't want to hang around a bunch of average, normal folks. I want to hang
Oh
around.
my God, you're so basic. Go
I'm saying,
away.
yeah, I don't want to hang around basic folks who just like staying in that same pond. I don't like that. I like to be inspired by people because I'm not going to get inspired. It's been a long time I've had self inspiration. You know what I mean? I've had to have self inspiration because I get to a point I'm like, I'm better than y'all. I can't learn anything from y'all anymore. You know what I mean? So what I've personally taught myself or have implemented in my life, I guess would be a better thing, is to try to pull inspiration from parts of what others do. You know what I mean? So I see you. Oh, all right. This what we doing? Okay, cool. Let me. I see what you did there. Let me try to Ninoize that in what I do. You know what I mean? I didn't think about doing it that way, but I will implement a little of that in what I do. It's not going to sound like what you did, but it's in. I'm not trying to be.
Better.
Well, I'm just saying.
Um,
Yes, it's going to be my flavor of that, and
Did
I
you say
learned the craft.
Nino? You say Nino eyes? Is
Nino
that?
wise,
you know how
Oh,
I
okay.
questify a lot of things? Nina was inspired by my unique words that he started to start
the
his
Nino
own.
eyes.
Yeah, so I respect it. See how
So
you
I
can
got
inspire people?
now I gotta
Yes.
get my own
Gotta get your own. Hey, you gotta get your own.
like
That's right. Because
classes.
Quest is mine. I'm
Oh,
sorry. Let me stop. Listen, this
oh
thing
my
say,
I
God.
gotta get my own cyclopsis.
Cyclopsis.
That actually sounds kind of
Yeah,
clever.
Cyclopsis is not bad.
But
You
you
know
gotta be
what I mean?
confident when you
You
say
gotta
it
be,
because
yeah,
you
yeah,
don't
Yeah,
mess
yeah,
it
yeah.
up.
You gotta
exactly.
say it aggressive. Cyclopsis. You know what I
Like,
mean?
you
You know
know,
what I mean?
hey. So hey, but And it goes into, because I didn't even bring this up last week, because I don't know where we went last week, but
Chop it up.
um like the topic I was gonna bring up was like, don't forget where you came from, and don't forget the people that that paved the way for you, right? Because my thing is like, just because you may have a manager and everything else, now you think you're big time, right? But then you just kind of shoo away the people that helped you along the way. Does that make sense?
No, I understand where you're coming from, but it's all about because clearly this stems from a personal thing, right? Clearly, right? Because of the way you stated it. But everything depends on the specific relationship. Because we hear it so much in our culture, in our industry, you got to pay homage to people who paved the wave. But the way they do it is like you have to worship the ground of people who came before you. Like you owe them this, you owe them that. If it wasn't for them, newsflash, if it wasn't them, it would have been someone else. Okay, let's be clear. We're not taking away for what you've done, but I don't owe you my whole entire life because of it. You know what I'm saying? So even in certain situations where you've helped someone as an artist, as a DJ, yes, shout out to so and so for helping me out, but do I have to shout you out every interview I do? Do I have to give you a percentage of everything I make? Like at the end of the day, you just have to let people flourish. You know what I'm saying? Long as they
Hmm.
gave you a compliment at least one time, like let them do what they do and on to the next person that you can help. And it's interesting that you stated this. And before you guys chime in, I wanted to piggyback off of that with a subject I had for today, which is kind of go hands in hand, where there's some people who've introduced me to certain things, and I've always shouted them out and I've always given them their props. But what I've noticed is you may have given me my first opportunity, but now it's to the point I'm teaching you things
Mm.
and I'm helping you out. And I should be learning from you, but just because you have years in doesn't mean that you're above me or at a different level. Because if you base it off not just years in, but the work putting in and the level of professionalism and the level and skill of talent, I have surpassed you from doing it for a few years when you probably got decades in. Does that make sense?
Makes perfect sense. It makes perfect sense.
Exactly. The student has to pass the teacher, but technically there wasn't a teacher because you didn't teach me anything. You just gave me my first opportunity. Totally different thing. But come on. Come on in here, Miyagi. We feel like you got something up there. We listening. We listening. We listening. Look, he rubbing his hands. But
I hear you. I hear you a
facts.
hundred percent.
It's facts.
Um, yeah, I hear you 100% because, like you said, yeah, you gave me my first opportunity. Oh, okay. When I first started rapping, right?
Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Hey,
When
check
I
one,
first
two, 1, 2.
when I first started doing especially gospel rap,
Amen.
you know, like nobody taught me how to write. Nobody taught me, anything like that, right?
Didn't you learn how to write in school?
Well,
Okay.
but
Let
no,
the man talk.
like so, there was people that they gave me a great opportunities, right? But when I started flourishing, beyond what they were doing for me, they felt like, hey, well, we taught you this, so you need to
That's a
put us
brass fool.
on, like you need to put us on with you. No, like I shout y'all out, I'll give y'all your props, but like I'm doing me. Like this was a collective. It wasn't a one person wins, we all win type thing. Like, you know, so, y'all got to put in the work just like I did. So you can't ride my coattail, because I'm doing what I'm doing.
Hmm.
So, and like I said, I still to this day, I thank those people for those opportunities. That's all they were. They were opportunities.
Now they treat it like a game. If I give you your first thing to sell, you in this for life. You owe me for life. You owe me taxes for life, son.
Like, I'll be like, yo, like, it's not that serious. Like, it's
Jay Rod,
not.
somebody agree with the homies. Talk about it. Elaborate on your comment, Jay.
Yes, please.
Seasick, what up?
Seasick. Hey,
Oh my
that is
gosh.
we got some loyal fans out there for the Why Not show. Yeah, I swear we do. I love y'all. I love y'all. Okay, back to the conversation.
If they helped you, you should reach back at least once. That's what I said. Like you can reach back and you can, do some things
Yeah.
together, but you don't owe them your life. I have people upset that I am the state manager after
Mm.
only being a DJ for 4 years. They've been doing it for 8 to 10. A
Well,
manager ain't got nothing to do with how many
I
years to
mean,
the game.
yeah.
FDJ, I'm sorry, I'm just joking. I'm
Is
joking. I don't want nobody hearing that part think I'm serious. No, that is.
But that's exactly what I was saying. Just because you've been DJing longer or entertaining longer doesn't mean anything. Does not mean you're qualified for a whole different
Yeah,
job.
that's a whole different job.
My thing is, I did reach back. I did give them opportunities that could have helped them, but it's not my fault they fumbled the ball.
Look,
Yeah, I'm with you on that. If I pass you, if I pass you, um, the rock, and basically you got to score from the 5 yard line, um, and, and you keep fumbling, I'm like
That part.
you're on the 5 yard line. I'll put you in. Well, let me take this back. I'll take this back to a real story. Back when I was doing mixtapes, right? Back when I was doing mixtapes, um, and I don't know if a lot of people know this story. Some of my mixtapes, it was me and somebody else. You know what I mean? It was DJ Il Nino and somebody else. I were both people. You understand what I'm saying? I was both people. That was me. You know what I mean? I put what the hell? I don't even remember. I don't want to say that. I don't even want to say the people that's on the tape. But there were two DJs' names on there, and I were both people. You know what I mean? One side, I was Nino heavy, scratching and all that. Other sides, I was just basically,
DJ Basic.
yeah, I was basically like Clue, putting songs on, boom, 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 throwing an occasional blend on. That's what I was doing. Both sides were me, right?
Hmm.
I had that bag out there, boom. Just come in there, just this, because people wanted to book both. People wanted to book both DJs. Like, all right, this is dead ass. This is dead serious.
Hey, we
Dead
want
serious.
that DJ. We don't want Nino. We want that DJ over
I
there.
They
got you,
wanted
son.
both. They wanted both, right? They wanted both. You know what I mean? There's like, look, man. I'm like, all right, so let's get this. You know what I mean? And what it also allowed me to do, it allowed me, because after a while, when people figure out who you are, they knew they started realizing I was Nino. Um, and some people, for whatever reason, didn't rock with me, right? They're
Hmm.
still buying other dude. You understand what I'm saying? For people like, man, I don't like Nino. Nino ain't put on my song. I can even go into that. There was some local artists that I really didn't do. I didn't hate you. There was other mixtape DJs in the area that was their thing. That was not my thing at the time, because for one, I didn't just sell my mixtapes in that city. I had people all around the nation selling my mixtapes. So me putting three local folks on there can mess the flow up, and now I done lost multiple sales because of that. You understand what I'm saying? So I thought globally, not locally, and there was some people that didn't like that. So I was like, that's cool. I'm like, all right, I understand. You ain't gotta like me, But once I'm in the store, I'm controlling the mixtape. What? He got some of the same songs on it. Oh, yeah, I get him. You know what I mean? So they're not paying me. They're paying thinking they're paying somebody else. But I'm getting both sales. You know what I mean? I'm getting both sales.
Right, now people gonna be start doing the same thing, talking about that's a good idea.
I mean, it works.
It
It works.
Cyclops, DJ Cyclops versus DII.
Well, I mean, they know
Okay,
that's you. They know that's
Chip and TIP.
Yeah.
Well,
See,
yeah.
the thing is, having being able to in a DJ game, being able to DJ multiple different ways. You know what I mean? I know I can do that scratch stuff. I know I can do that blend stuff. And I normally incorporate both of those when I'm DJing. But I know that I can stop doing some stuff and just lean into that lane and be like, "Man, this dude nice." And they may want, and I would see if folks wanted more blend stuff. All right, boom, then they would get more blend stuff. They wanted more scratching and stuff. Cool. All right. But then the mixtape game got to the point that it was basically like I don't know if you remember this, Cyclops, but I know Quest will remember this. It basically became like the Hot 97 mixtapes. Those were the most popular joints.
Yep.
Which were basically bootleg CDs that had all the hot stuff on it. That's basically what it became.
So for us down here, it was called Hustle Music by DJ Lewis.
What was he mixing it, or was the song? Was it a song didn't stop? Song didn't stop.
Song and stop.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it's the same thing then.
Breathe and stop.
Yeah, that's the same thing. Then. Hot 97 became the move to get, because people after a while didn't want to hear DJ skills and all that. You know what I mean? Because it became no disrespect to Clue, but Clue just started throwing exclusives on it. He was not a very technically skilled DJ.
Yeah.
He played the song, turn the echo on. Play the song, turn the echo on. But he got exclusives and all that. So support to him. Support the Big Mike. From, I think he was up your way.
He's
Quest?
from Connecticut.
Yep.
Yes, I know Big Mike. Mm-hmm.
Yep. Shout out to Big Mike, because he started doing that too. Then K Slade was like, he can do it, I'm going to do it. So it became a lot of people putting them kind of mixtapes out just with
the radio stations and everything.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I remember the Hot 97 joints, Hot 97, all the
that's what it was.
Then,
people saw that move. They like, all right, so what the people want, what sells most, were the Hot 97 type mixtapes. You know what I mean? Song. They didn't really care, necessarily, unless you were, one of them like Juice, Dirty Harry, and some like that. Kid Capri, did some things like that.
Yeah.
But Kid Capri did not sell. Kid Capri's mixtapes did not sell for some reason. But that's what folks wanted, so that's what I started giving them.
When I used to buy the mixtapes and everything when they came out heavy, the first ones I'll look at is the one from the radio station first. So the ones that said Hot 97 or Hot 93.7, which is the Connecticut most popular station, I looked at their playlist before I checked out anybody else's.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And that's where it became. I'm like, all right. People started, because I was in the Philly area, people started doing their own Power 99 mixtapes. You know what I mean?
Power 99.9.
And I knew because I was in the mixtape game back then. I started running into the same people in certain places, so I started figuring out who some of these people were. You know what I mean? I knew some of the people who was putting out the Hot 97 Platinum Edition. You know what I mean? I'm like, okay, I see what you're doing. I see that. So what you're doing, you're riding off of the Hot 97 coattails, throwing your own special edition, and doing it like that. So me, I decided to test the mark. I said, you know what? Show is very, very popular right now?
The Why Not Podcast.
Well, that of course, that's different.
Hey,
this is mixtape game. Hey, pockets be way different. So I decided to. I said, okay, 106 in Park.
Mm.
Let me put out the 106 in Park mixtapes. Them mixtapes took off. When I say that those mixtapes took off, because it's nice. You get a certain amount of money. You basically got a guaranteed amount of money when you're doing mixtapes. But when I decided to throw, because I know it sold the most. What sold the most basically were Hot 97, and though Hot 97.
See, other people are selling them too.
Yeah, all those joints, and then Clue. It was Hot 97, then Clue, because I know I ran a store. I ran the whole department that sold mixtapes. I did that, so I know from personal experience, not a guess. Hot 97, crazy. Hot 97 could sell 200 in a day. All right, it could because it has. All right, and
that's 1, 2.
yeah, it's a lot. They could sell all that in a day, and then when Clue came in, he always sold crazy. And then there were other ones. Who Kids sold, but not like that. Juice sold, but not like that.
I like Juice.
Yeah, I like Juice too. Quest, what up? And
Well then, all right. On that note,
let me. That's
on that
200 a
note,
day. That was 200 a day in the store. Yes, there was 200 a day in the store. Because what made the store good, because even though we had people out there on the street selling the bootlegs, for like, I don't know, like $5 to $7, and our stores were selling them for like $10.
that was me. Sorry.
Yeah, well, I understand that, but what's cool about it, we actually got them from the DJs, so we had the official artwork in there. We had the CDs that had we had all that stuff. We had all that stuff.
In the bootleg, we had the one sleeve.
Yeah, and
But see, I did my CDs differently. I would go online, print out the actual artwork, and boom, there you go. Let me not tell my secrets.
Now we ain't doing all that. Clue had Rockefeller help, and he would have can you speak, and have been good, except he started talking too much. I have so many questions about mixtapes.
I mean, I could probably answer some.
Oh, we're sorry. Me and Cyclops being so rude. Finish your story.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, well.
Yes, Cyclops definitely was a bootlegger. I'm sorry.
Hey.
The bootlegger. Yeah, cut that out. And since we got them officially from the DJs, we had to worry about somebody pulling up and taking everything off your table, because that happened. Certain DJs would come down there and like, yo, there was a DJ that came to the store, selling their mixtapes. They came in there. They did the move. They started looking through the books that see if their mixtapes were listed. They was like, yo, all right, I am DJ blah blah blah. I want to I would like to be in your store. You want to do a master? The master, people that know mixtapes know what the master was. You would sell them one master copy, and they would duplicate the hell out of it. Or you could sell them individually to the folks and let them do. But folks like that, they come in there and sell them to us, and then they would go outside and turn the tables over. From the other dudes out there selling bootlegs.
So you sell it, buy one from you, and then Cyclops would take it home and then duplicate it.
Yes. Yeah, he would duplicate and be right outside.
Like I said, Cyclops was on a fast track.
Yeah, they would duplicate and be right outside. Right outside the place. So
I got the hot ones for $5 right here.
See, yeah. You're the one that's getting pulled up on. Ours were a little more, but they were official. But what was crazy about it, it got to the point where you were only paying like $2.
Oh.
$3 from the official DJs. It got to a point where it's like that. But that's all you was paying for. So even if you sold them things for $5, that's a 40% profit. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Shout out to Mr. PhD in the building.
PhD in the building. What up, Starline in the
PhD.
building? So
LimeWire King.
yeah, LimeWire King.
Hey,
My man,
nah. I was what was the other one? It was one before
Napster.
that. Yep, Napster. Yep.
yeah, that's there it is. But them slow ass downloads.
Hey, what was the
Everybody
one
was
with the?
making
You remember
them
the one with the
compilation
bear?
tapes.
It was one with a bear too.
I
Yep.
don't know.
Smokey the Bear,
No.
Yogi the
Yeah, Yogi the
Bear.
Bear.
Nah, it was a download thing that had
All right, does anybody know the download thing with the bear that
yeah, it's a bear
Cyclops
on
used to
it.
do?
Yeah.
Teddy Grahams.
Yeah, I don't know.
But while we look up the bear that Cyclops was talking about, C6 said, "What's the main difference between a mixtape and a production?"
Well, the mixtape. I'm talking about street mixtapes. I'm not talking about like somebody like DJ or Drama got hemmed up. Maybe he's not the best one to use because he got hemmed up. For the mixtapes.
You had Lil Wayne had mixtapes.
Yeah. Well, but there was artist specific mixtapes, and I think one of the people that made that go was 50 Cent. You know, when he was putting out his mixtapes used to go like crazy, boom, boom, boom. I don't know what the hell they are now.
So did y'all have like up north? Did y'all have mixtape Messiah?
I don't know.
There was Kazam. There was Bear Share.
There you go, Bear Share right there. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, the
Bear
kept
kept viruses.
See,
Wait a minute, we don't want that.
Yeah.
Grams all day. Oh well,
But,
clearly everyone. I found it first, so I get the prize.
But mixtape Messiah was by Chameleonaire. He had like 9 of them.
Yes.
No, I don't think we had those. You know what I mean? Well, you know who else was a beast back then was Joe Budden. Joe Budden was nasty mixtape wise. Joe Budden, Fabulous.
Me.
I'm sorry.
I sold a lot of my mixtapes.
I'm sure you did.
I had like 2 mixtapes back in the day.
Yeah.
Me and Radio Shack. I made Radio Shack a lot of money.
Wow.
I was in there like every other day.
I mean, yeah, that was crazy. The point was, I started telling people, because I ain't gonna knock nobody's hustle, that there was a dude that didn't want to sell to the store. He would rather sell to his other stores. And he basically just bootlegged everybody's stuff.
Oh no!
And he was selling them to all the bodegas and all that. Greenland was a beast. He didn't put out a lot. Green Lantern did not put out a lot of mixtapes at all, but he was a monster on those things. But what happened to him, and he was real. You know how people are. I don't care what you do what you do to make whatever you got to make. I don't care. But he was so arrogant about it.
I ain't mad at you.
Yeah, he was so arrogant about it that he started. It's probably second-class people. Yeah, he started. People started being like, you know what? All right. So people started dropping a dime on him. It's like, yeah, that's him. This is him. He is doing all this because he basically, I ain't gonna knock his hustle. He basically got all the little, the bodega spots. He had a whole section of mixtapes in all those stores.
There we go.
So
Well, you see, I'm still here, so I
mean, that could have been Drama's out now. Drama actually went to jail for this stuff.
Oh,
yeah.
So that happened a long time ago.
You right, Starline. She says, I just get my hair done and cut my stuff in the salon.
That
yes,
was the
the
move.
people's definitely in the salon.
Boy,
the
good.
with the book bag.
You go to the barbershop. They had that list. Be like, hey, go through the list. Be like, either they had music or movies.
I had those books.
Yeah, they had music or movies.
Shout out to my one of the sponsors back day who would send you sneakers and boxes of goods for putting their products on your mixtape. You know what I'm saying?
You still here because you found Jesus,
Still found
Cyclops.
Jesus. That's what it is.
I sure did.
That's what it is.
I sure did.
Yeah, but that time was crazy. It very, 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 very profitable. Because at the point when you're doing your tapes, I got it down to a point when I was making my own personal mixtapes that I was able to do them full, record, artwork. I had it under 75 cents. That I can do all that. I can have the case, I can have the CD, and I can have the cover. And I got that.
You on a little sweatshop.
I got that
I know.
under.
Like, wait a
I
minute.
got it under 75 cents.
Wow.
Right? So just think. Well, you can. You can.
He said can't arrest a man for selling gospel mixtapes.
So
Okay.
So just think. Just do the math in your head. Just do the math in your head. Say you was selling for $1. Saying you was able to get it to $1, right? Even if you sold them for $2, you're doubling your money. You understand that? Even if you sold them for $2,
1, 2.
you're doubling your money, right? So imagine those stores, because there were some stores that gave you $12 for a mixtape. As soon as I found out, I'm like, yeah, let me get in the car. Let me drive all the way to this place. And I showed him he said, yeah, I want all these. I'm like, okay. And then because I'm so glad that he told me his price before I would have told him my price. You know, because he's one of the people, well, we pay $12 each for the mixtapes. You know what I'm saying? He said, we pay $12 each for all these. We want this. I'm like, oh, shit. Let me shut up. And I'm thinking.
You better not block your blessing.
You know, I'm thinking, all right, if you take all of these, I'll take that. That's fine. You know what I'm saying? And he was like, okay. And I looked up because on the wall, and people were coming in the store at the time, they were buying, his mixtapes was $20. They were $20 on the wall. He was selling mixtapes, $20 each. All right, this was in an area. This was in an area, you know what I mean? Wasn't a lot of us hanging around there. No disrespect. I'm just being, I'm just.
When you say us,
You see that? You see that?
you mean DJs?
That was. It was an area that bought music, because how did I know this my music? Because while we were cooking up the deal, people were coming, oh, let me get this one. I'm like, oh. You know what I'm saying? People coming in looking and seeing what was on the counter, on the desk. They was like, oh, let me get this one, and this one. They're already buying what he doesn't even have yet, right? At $20. And he's looking at me. I'm like, that's fine. You know, I'm not gonna be the dude, he ain't buying. I'm not gonna be that guy. I'm be like, oh, that's fine. I said, hey, you can sell it to him. You know what I mean? Sell them those 5, 6 or whatever we sold. We probably sold like 12 while we were crafting the deal while I was in the store. So I'm like, yeah. It was a drive. It was a drive to go there. But then one of the DJs whose mixtapes weren't accepted called the boys up. Messed the whole process up. Now the boys came and raided the store. Now the store closed.
Oh, are you friends? Your boys?
I know who it was. Wasn't that one of my friends? Not somebody whose circles I ran into. But they shut the place down, and I'm like,
oh no!
It was more than no. It was one of them.
Hell no!
Damn. What the hell?
Hey,
Oh
damn.
my God! Because you.
So how many transactions did you do before it closed down?
Well,
Stop counting people's pockets, Cyclops.
I'll say this because it was a drive and it was out of the way, but it was worth it.
Gotcha.
It was worth it. It was worth it. So, and they would buy bulk because they knew where they were at. You know what I mean? They knew where they were at, and they know people didn't necessarily want to come up there. And for one, you don't want to.
So it was something that when it closed down, you missed. Like, God dang.
Yeah, that was a hit. That was a major hit. That was a hit. That was something you felt. You know what I mean? Because you're getting $12. other places you may be you're getting less than 5. You know what I'm saying? You're getting less than 5 everywhere else. You're getting less than $5 everywhere else, unless you're selling it yourself.
Let's go to the audience real quickly so we can continue with this story. You got mixtapes where the DJ mixes vocals and popular instrumentals, and artists rap over popular instrumentals, and the DJ just puts it out there.
So that's what I did back in the day.
You talking about an artist mixtape?
Yeah, that's what he's talking about. Because I did mixtape as an artist. I was doing raps over popular instrumentals.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And 50 was one of those who made that popular. But 50 wasn't the only one doing those. But his buzz came from that.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying?
It's funny how we went from getting your name out there, rapping and singing over popular instrumentals, to this thing that circulated where you shouldn't be rapping and singing over industry music instrumentals. I'm just like, what? That's why you have to have your own mind, because some people will try to brainwash you to fail.
Facts.
Would you go all out on the covers, high glossy print, or just print it on paper? How much did you spend to press them up?
The ones that I personally did were all on
Because people like cyclones.
Yeah. They were all glossy paper. They were all on glossy print. They were all glossy printed, and they were all with the the slim CD case. You remember those? You remember the slim?
Yes, I used to make my mixtapes with them.
It was the slim CD case, CD case, and the glossy paper.
Like I found one of my original. Man, I don't even have it right here by me, but I found one of my original mixtapes. I was like, "Dang, this is a good mixtape package."
Yeah. I made sure all the stuff that I personally did looked official.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because I didn't want it to look like Johnny took it to Kinko's. Let me not say that, because there was somebody that worked in a Kinko's back then that had the glossy paper, and they basically was like, "Yo, you give me $50. How many you need?" Excuse me?
Got a side hustle while I clocked in.
Excuse
wow.
me? So what they are doing, he's printing the covers on the glossy paper, just like shiny as hell, full color.
Shining.
Man,
I can do this, and that. Come back tomorrow morning. He said, you bring him in. He said, make sure you. Well, I'm telling him when that store's closed. That's been years ago. He said, make sure you bring him. Make sure you bring him back. Bring him after 11 o'clock. Bring him after 11 o'clock. You can come pick him up in the morning. And that's what it was. Do it overnight on his shift. Come back in the morning. It would be there packed up, cut. You know what I mean? Perfect cutting. That you didn't have to do, because he would do that.
I mean, he had the equipment.
He had all that stuff. So he would cut the paper.
So you're a firm believer of.
And let me answer and start last. It was like I said, it was under 75 cents, even with all that.
So you're a firm believer of presentation is key.
Look at the show. You know what I'm saying?
Because I'm just saying, like, I remember, first starting, and people like, okay, you go put a mixtape out. Okay, we can stay up all night and burn your copies of your. No, I don't want to burn copies of my CD. Write on with a marker.
See, this is what I be talking about, the BS. At the end of the day, everyone has to start somewhere. But it's all about where you end up, okay? Yeah. Because I'm just be open and honest. When I first started putting out mixtapes,
my baby had the Sony, the Sony CDR 70s, the CDR 70s.
You get 80 minutes. Yeah. You get 80 minutes on the disc.
NT Ways. when
I ain't gonna
I was
lie. I've done it before. I've done it before.
pushing out my mixtapes or demos of my music and everything, yes, I would get the CDs and I would write on them myself because at the end of the day, everyone starts a different place. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have nobody to help me, show me, do nothing. So I did what I had to do for what I was trying to do for me and my music. Now, the thing is, that's when it comes to building those personal relationships that when I'm talking to people, as long as my name and stuff was on it, I would write out what songs is on there too. They was happy, just like, good looking out. Yes, I'll buy it. Here we go. Call it a day. You see what I'm saying? That worked for me because I'm personally selling it to them. They know who I am. My name is on it. They know who I am. There's nothing wrong with that. When there comes an issue, that's when we cannot listen to everybody because everyone's journey is different. Everyone think they know something. The difference is, I remember back 2018, it was a fleet conference, and at the end of the club, artists was out there with their CDs, and it brought me back to the early 2000s. And I'm just like, look, there's nothing wrong with selling your CDs, but this is not the time and the era for CDs. First of all, your name ain't even on them. They won't know who it is. They don't even know you. You have to get with the times. At least have a proper cover. At least have the option of MP3s, not MP3s, the flash drives and USBs. That's the time we're living in. You can pass these CDs to people all you want. They're either going to look at you like you're crazy, like they're doing, or they're going to toss them out. Because I've seen it happen all the time.
Because they may not own a CD player.
Man,
exactly.
They may not own it because when they get in the car, nowadays cars we ain't got we don't have CD players.
And a lot of laptops.
Yeah, laptops. No CD players at all.
And
So,
it's crazy because it's I remember one of these artists that we had on Spotlight, and they're like, okay, everybody, I'm going to send y'all a care package of all my stuff, right? I said, cool, great. I get this thing in the mail, and at first I was like, how am I going to play this? Like, it was a cassette tape. I said, first of all, how am I going to play this? But it was
cassette tape ass out of here.
It was very creative. It was a
flash drive inside.
Yes, it was a flash drive.
Did you just tell his story? You just
Yeah, you did.
I came back. It was like, I know the end of this. Let me tell y'all real quick. My bad.
Yeah, like I was like, that was very creative. So, like you say, you gotta get with the times. And that was getting with the times. But I was really about to be like, well, hey, I can't listen to your stuff.
But the thing is that's real creative, right? But what if somebody was lazy? They just looked at the tape. Most people lazy. They just find it in the trash because I got no tape deck. You know what I mean? They look at it and find it in the trash. You know what I mean? So you got to be careful with that. And even when you're doing that, that's cool and creative, but you gotta determine is that extra worth the extra output and money that you're spending for that stuff. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I always said, even back when I was doing the mixtape things, I would always tell people, if you're buying blank mixtapes and just using them for your own personal self, and there's no disrespect to anybody that was using Sony, Memorex, or whatever.
Thank you.
No disrespect. I would tell you, buy the blank ones with nothing. Buy the ones with the shiny top. Buy those that have nothing on it. And if
the shiny top.
Yes, the shiny top ones. They had nothing on it.
Yeah.
Nothing on it. It was just blank. It was blank on the top. Nothing was on it. All right. I would tell people, buy that one. And I understand, some people are still, doing the market. What I would tell them is to buy one of them sticker label things. But they had things that printed your name and information on that. A thermal printer, that's what it was. It was a small thing. It was a thermal printer. You put it on there and print the top. Everybody couldn't get those, but I would tell people, just get one of them labeling machines and put your name and info on that to where it's already on there. And I'm like, look, I know where you are. I know where your level is. I know you're not going to be able to get all these things printed, but don't go to the store. You know what I mean? You go to a retail and you're trying to sell things and it has Sony on it. They're going to look at you like, I can't help you with that. You know what I mean? But if you go in there with the blank top, and real talk, you can sell it with straight blank top if you don't have, the tools to put your information on it. Because people started doing it. I ain't got that. I'm just selling like this, and they accepting it. Oh, Avery, look at Avery. Yes, there it is. I remember Avery. Avery.
Y'all showing y'all age. I've never even heard of an Avery. Only Avery I know is on Grey's Anatomy.
See, there you go.
Oh wow.
There you go. Avery's still out there. You can still. I mean, they had the business cards and all that.
It doesn't cost anything to have a smart link that goes to your DSPs. But one thing too about having the mixtapes, especially as an artist in your MP3s, I understand you got to promote,
Yeah.
and they're trying to drill it in your head to constantly do this and that. But nowadays, you really gotta play the game like chess and not checkers, okay?
How's that?
Because we see it all the time where people passing out thousands of flyers because they've been taught somebody gonna pick it up, somebody gonna check it out. So always, put them out there. Most of that stuff end up in the trash. We see it all the time,
Yeah,
still
and
on the table.
And then you play avoid the flyers on the ground. You know what I'm saying?
Right?
You're walking around, avoid the flyers on the ground.
You do that, or when you like the CD thing, you passing it to people, but you don't know if they're gonna listen to it, because you got to remember, if you don't build that relationship with you are just another random artist they're not gonna give the time and day to. When you give them the your USB, most people clear it off and put their own stuff on there. I've seen it happen personally. Looking guilty. Also,
wait a minute. Let me tell you what I did.
no.
Let me tell you what I did. Okay, I had one time I had like 15 USBs, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what I decided to do, because I want to consolidate it all. I don't want to necessarily have to carry around. Yeah, I don't want to have to randomly carry around 15 USBs. So let me put them all on one, and then recycle the rest of the USBs. You know what I'm saying? So I recycle. They all happen to be on one CD. You know what I mean? On one USB. One person gives you an 8 gigabyte. Then you got some people. I don't know what the logic in your head is. Why are you buying a 256 gigabyte flash drive with 2 songs? I don't personally understand
But
that.
thank you.
Hey,
But
I'm gonna add more stuff to it.
I'm like, cool.
I needed to use that moment. But you know what also I saw when I used to not just be an artist, but I used to work for magazines, right? And we used to have concerts. Celebrities used to come out. We used to interview them and everything. And I literally saw some managers and A&Rs. I seen artists come up to them with their CDs. Yo, check me out. You know what I'm saying? I'm the hottest thing out coming out. The same spiel. They're like, no doubt. Good, and they're like, good looking out. And I saw them all throw the CDs in the trash. And he's like, why are you still holding that? I'm like, what do you mean? Why did you just throw yours out? Ain't nobody got time to listen to that. You know how many of these we get all the time? Ain't nobody got time for that. I'm just like, wow. And I'm like, well, I'm glad I didn't give you mine. But I just looked at them totally different. And then it's moments like that where I pay attention to who's really rock with me, building relationships, so I know my stuff for the majority of the time is not going to be wasted and just tossed out. This DJ in Connecticut got cussed out by a lot of independent artists. They was like, hey, when independent artists send me their music or their CDs, especially in the wintertime, I use it to wipe the snow off my car. And he literally said that. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, it's things like that why there's such a disconnect when it comes to artists and DJs and promoters and stuff, and why, the relationship's not as tight as it need to be. But you really have to pay attention to who you're giving it to. Don't just invest in so much, and where it falls, where it lands, that's just what it is. No, you really have to individually figure out what's going to work best for you. Back to the audience, nothing but permanent marker with back then creative names. Example, 90s baby making music, which they still do to this day.
That
Still
part.
with the same songs. With the
Everyone
same
is the
songs.
hottest thing coming out. That is facts. The relationship is the move in order to grow. That is facts too.
Facts, because even because you interview too, Cyclops. You interview and this is not just specifically talking about artists, but this is currently talking about artists. Um, we interview some artists, and me, I've told people several times, hit me up. Send me a 4-pack of what you got, and I can circulate those to some folks. Send me the clean joint, and then after about a week later, I don't get none. I don't forgot. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
that
I
part.
don't forgot. I don't forgot. I'm like, yeah. I'm telling you, send them now, and get it done now. You know what I mean? So I can send them to some folks because I will send them to some folks that will play them. If for whatever reason you're like, nah, I ain't got no clean joint.
All right.
I know, but I mean, if you really want a clean joint, we can make that happen. You know what I mean? It's not free. It's not free. Don't come up to me like, oh, you said you was gonna do it. Yeah, I will, but it's not.
Can.
Yeah, it's
I'm
not,
just waiting to see that $ icon on my phone.
it's not gonna be free.
Meow, meow, meow,
Because
meow.
I remember there's been a few that I had to clean up for folks. I'm like, oh my god, damn, this is going to sound horrible. If you want
Like
this,
every other word you have to bleep out.
yes, this your whole song's cuss. You know what I mean? It's not even worth it.
It's just one big cuss word.
Yes, it's not going to be worth it. It's not. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to be worth it.
The only word is not a cuss word is you.
You.
Yeah, that is. Okay, let's read this. Most underground artists don't care for their craft much as that. It depends. Depends on the DJ and depends on the artist. It depends. It depends because there's some for real talk. I ain't mention anybody specific. There's some DJs that basically try to rob artists. You know what I mean? There's
Hey,
some
for the
DJs
people in the back.
Yeah, there's some people that
Nah,
basically-
say for the ones in the front too.
yeah, there's some DJs out there basically trying to rob folks. Say, yo, I can get your song on blah blah blah. They don't DJ nowhere.
I'm gonna put
They don't
everybody.
DJ nowhere. They DJ in the house.
Put some steam behind this track.
See, then you get a little. Be careful. There's some DJs who don't have nowhere that people can hear them.
I'll put you on 20 stations, even though none of them got no listeners.
Yeah. I can put you on 20 stations that don't even talk to me. You know what I'm saying? So, and it sounds cool and all that, but then when the folks start asking for receipts, you know what stations you on, blah blah blah.
Yeah,
Now they leave it on red because
like,
they don't
look,
want to face that.
like when artists be like, "Can I see your numbers of
Yeah, we'll see
listeners?"
that looks.
I'm like, yeah, here you go. Good. I was one of those faithful members. I'll be like, look, you can see my numbers.
Yeah.
Like you can see what we're doing. If you agree to do this, that's cool. Well, this is what we got. Right?
Thanks. Yeah.
But I can't. Never mind. I was about to say something.
Good. Look at God. So we're going back to the audience.
Yeah.
I saw DJ in Cali take a dude's song and make it his own and made money because the artist didn't pay for his stuff to get registered.
Well, yeah. I mean,
Everybody don't know the business.
there's some mainstream artists out there.
Boy, I've
all
been
the time.
good. I was gonna say I've seen some
Mainstream
interviews.
artists out
Yeah,
there that
I've
hear
interviewed,
an artist song on SoundCloud or whatever and basically remake it. into a
Yeah, I've
hit.
seen artists, mainstream artists, and I interviewed them. And I'm like, did you not know? Did you not know?
Well, and it's not always the artist that knows. Artists may not even know.
That's why I got to stop going so hard on independent artists, because you can see it every day on documentaries, online. There's still mainstream artists that still ain't getting paid for their music because they didn't even know about registering and copywriting and putting things in their names. So people just got to stop this, like, altogether. That's how Katy Perry and Juicy J got sued. Yep, happens all the time.
Yeah,
Uh,
That was a good
folks
song, though.
hear something, then all of a sudden, they like, oh, that's cool. Let me send this some of the um, most popular artists in the industry have done that. Some of the most popular artists in the industry multiple times.
I love the compilations on YouTube.
Yeah,
Maybe catching them and finding them.
multiple times they've done that. Some artists, and you're like, yo, that song nice. Then the mainstream artists, the real popular song artists, takes it to places that honestly that it would not have went. You know what I mean? Honestly, you got to be honest about that, because that person already has all the visibility that the underground artist or the independent artist is striving for. That person already has all of that. So that song would never have. Well, I say the song probably would never have gotten to that. You know what I mean?
That level.
That level. But at the end of the day,
The day got in.
it's still no. At the end of the day, it's still it's still your thoughts, it's still your creativity, it's still your work that somebody's doing that. So somebody got to cut a check. You know what I mean?
Same thing with
I know.
songwriting.
Say that again.
Same thing with songwriting.
Yes, facts. Yeah.
You thinking you paying someone to write a song? No, they literally stealing from an unknown independent artist music and claiming it as their own.
Yeah. Yeah, it's facts.
Back to the audience. Not music related, thanks, Starline. But it happens in films too. I knew the guy who wrote Chronicles of Riddick. He sent it to the studio, no copyright, and they jacked him. Now, this is a good movie, but it's a problem.
Yeah. It doesn't matter what the quality of the work is. The quality. I mean, the point is that the work was not yours to, appropriate. You know what I mean? Yeah. Stop. Yeah. No. No.
So do y'all believe that? Because I hear a lot of artists say, we do the poor man copyright. Do y'all feel like that's legit?
I mean,
if you go to court, you can show them the envelope with the date stamped on it and then open it in court. But it's just better just to go to the liberty of Congress and call it a day.
Damn, my CD has been broken. It's broke. It's broke.
You sat on it.
It's broke.
But look, the date is still there. It's still there. Most people started that because of the lack of knowledge and the lack of funds.
Facts. Yeah.
You know what
It
I'm
was
saying?
different. It was different.
It's called a starving artist for a reason. It's very expensive to be in this industry as an artist. But at the same time, Liberty of Congress is not that expensive, but it depends on your lifestyle, your situation, and how much you sacrifice to get it done.
Yeah,
you know?
Back then it used to be a task.
Yes.
To do that kind of stuff. Now it's much easier and much more streamlined.
Yeah.
To get that stuff. You know what I mean? I'm sorry, for your artists or DJs that go through that, because me as a DJ done had my mixes played on other stations. You know what I'm saying?
And they sound so good.
And me as a DJ have had my mixes played on other DJs' mixes.
I had people boldly come to me and say, "Hey, can you send me one of your mixes so I can play at my set?" I'm like, what? What?
Yes, and all you gotta do is tell them to cash up you this amount and say, "I got you." It's not to be insulted. It's a compliment, and then you flex the compliment and you make your coin. That's another thing. People always complaining, and here we go, want the pat on the back, is so insulted, or this and that. No, find a way to capitalize on the situation. You know what? You like that mix? I could definitely send it to you. Send me this amount on my Cash App, Venmo, Zelle, whatever you use, and I got you.
And
Plain and simple.
guess what you're gonna hear?
DJ Nino.
You can make another mix. It's people just making things harder and complicated.
It depends. It depends.
Everything depends.
It depends.
Everything depends.
It depends. If you had some festival paying my mix and you getting paid $1,000,
That's different.
you know what I'm saying?
Look at me. Look at Psycho's really thinking about it.
You get paid $1,000, you playing this.
Look,
like
and you watching Coachella on YouTube. Like, wait a minute.
wait a minute. And then you're telling the people, watch, this song is coming next. They're like, oh shit, you saw this before? That's live. How you see this before? That's my mix. You know what I mean? That's true. There it is. Back to the audience. I went to a venue where a DJ was playing another DJ's mix with his DJ drops in it. That's
See, he bought it.
oh yeah.
I mean,
I'll tell you this for the longest time, the longest time I would never. So you and DJ that actually did the mix just looked at each other, see some. So it might have to be a conversation made. Or the dude playing it could have been one of them, and you could be like, you know what, this may not be the time for this discussion. Leave him alone and talk to him another time. I forgot what the hell I was about to say.
Do you believe in other DJs paying you to be like basically a ghost DJ?
yes. Yes. Everything depends on the situation. I know people have paid for services
Hey, wait a minute.
for blends and mixes. Is like, can you make this mashup for me? Can you make this blend for me? I'm like, sure. $sign TQuestGLM. You'll have it within 24 hours. And they go,
DJ
oh,
Nino.
Oh, okay. I know what I was gonna say. It took a long time before I played a pre-made blend.
of your own.
I mean, and sometimes other folk, like what you call it, like some of the Ted Smooth joints. But those are more. I would call those more kind of production than actually just blends, like Rob De Niro and all that, like folks like that. It took me, and there were bootleg records that came out that were like blends, and I was always, I'm like, I can do this, you know what I mean? And even on my own personal blends, I'm like, nah, I'll just do it live.
Do it live.
Yeah, that was me. I'll do it live.
Live blends better.
I'm like, I don't need. I'm like, I don't need to do this. I don't need to pre-mix this or whatever. And I think it wasn't to the point when I started putting videos to my blends that I was like, you know what? I'm just honestly, I think that's what it is. Now that I think back on it, that's when I started playing my own pre-made blends instead of, you know, doing all that stuff on the fly. So, and that's me. That's me personally, because I'm like, I may like this blend now, and I still do that when I do blends. Yesterday's blend may not be today's blend. You know,
Just like my price.
That part.
Yesterday's blend might not be today's blend. They're like, yo, play that joint, and sometimes I got to go back in the history and look and see what the hell that I did. I don't even remember, because that was 6 times. That was 6.
Days ago.
Blends
Blends
ago.
ago.
Oh,
There was 6 blends ago.
Blends ago. Sound like a name.
Yeah, 6 blends. Yeah, 2 years ago, a blend of mine.
2 years ago.
Promise.
But that's how it is. That's how it is. That's how it is. You know how sometimes you they tell you should always, and my baby tells me that this all the time after I'm sitting here flexing on a mix. You record that?
Facts.
Man, like
Says that all the
I
time.
feel
You
like
record that?
sometimes I feel like I need to just hit the record button when I start and just let it just ride.
I'm trying to tell you, why not? Doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
Why not? You get it?
Why not?
See? Yeah, there've been times that I'm like, damn, I'm in a different bag right now. You know what I mean? I'm like, whatever I put on is killing. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, why the hell did I not record
Sometimes
this?
knowing it's on too may mess you up.
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes knowing it's on, yes. Then you look because what you do, what you may do, you sit there and look at the clock. You know what I mean? You look, oh, I'm 17 minutes in. You know what I mean? Sometimes you feel like you're in your bag and you're like,
Mm-hmm.
how long? Yeah, feel like in your mind you've been going a half hour, 40 minutes, and the damn thing says 16 minutes. You're like, God damn, that's it.
That part.
That's
That
It's like a
part.
work
doing?
shift.
Like
That's
that.
all it's only
Right.
16 minutes.
Dang, I only clocked in 3 minutes ago. Oh, it's the longest shift ever.
Like, okay, so when you're doing mixes, right, and you're recording them, right, what is the cutoff time? Say, okay, you know you messed up, but it's already past this time. I'm not going to start over. I'm just going to keep going.
Well, if I'm doing a mix, what I do, say I'm doing a mix, or for whatever reason, it could be not that I messed up. It could be I didn't like the transition. Not that it was off. I just didn't like the energy transfer from those two songs. I ain't like this song into that. I'm like, this. I don't like this transition. So what I do in a situation like that, I don't change any BPMs on the song. You know what I mean? I don't change it. I will go. Say I'm at the chorus, the first chorus in the song. You know what I mean? I will start the song. I'll redo it, put the chorus on that, and then bring a different song in, and then just basically clip those two songs in. I know I did that, but the average person has zero ideas that.
I know what you did.
Yeah. The average person has zero idea, because sometimes say you're doing a mix for a show and it's 55 minutes, and in minute 49. You don't know what the hell happened, but it's trash. You know, see, like, what the hell did I just do? I'm not going back 49 minutes and doing this whole damn thing. I'm not. For what? For what?
Yeah,
I'm
I'm going to
not.
keep going. I'm going to keep going. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what I'm gonna do, what I will do is stop. I will stop. I will stop and make sure that there's that, the line for dead air. You know what I mean? You know when you look at your mix, you can see that long line. Pause. You can see that, and there's dead air there. So and then you start again. So basically at that point, you want to put those together into one mix, because it's easy as hell to look at it. You're like, okay, all right, there it is. Let me go to that. Put these on two different tracks. Chop it properly, and go on with life. You know what I mean? Because I know there's been times, get Buck in the building. Why the hell not?
Well,
I know there have been points in mixes that sometimes I kept for my own self. But I started getting carried away. I started killing. I'm like, oh, I'm killing this, and I kept it going on. But I know the average person listens to it and be like, God damn, let the song run. But me, I'm like, all right, I'm loving this. So what I may do, and I have done, I may chop that a little bit. I see what that is. I'm like, all right, let me chill, because I was in my bag. I was in a turntablism bag, and this may not necessarily be for that. So let me dial it down a bit, and start from a point where it's not necessarily all that. Because I remember there were times, when I mentioned any stations, there were times that folks from certain stations were making generic pronouncements that I don't want to hear this, this, and that. I don't want to hear any drops. I don't want to hear any scratching. I just want to hear the music.
You want to hear my mix?
Yeah, and so I was basically like, I guess I'm out of there. I'm thinking, I guess I'm done. I'm out of there. I'm not staying around. I'm not doing that. But what was cool when you would hear Nino, you can continue to do what you do. That was cool. They're like, no, Nino, you good. I'm like, so wait a minute. You said no, you good. You know what I mean? And that has happened. He's like, no, you good. Because I'm going to, if I'm doing a mix and I'm submitting a mix to whoever station, unless y'all paying heavy, you know what I'm saying? Unless you paying heavy, not just for the exposure or whatever. Yeah, you're gonna hear.
Welcome, DJ.
You're gonna hear that.
L.
It's gonna be on the tape. You may hear it on every single song.
I mean, that's what they do when you use free photos and free things. Like when StreamYard was free, you saw a little duck in the corner.
Yeah.
When you use certain platforms like Postmark Wall, you see their logo and everything at the bottom.
At the bottom.
You're going to hear Nino Heavy in the mix. Why do I do that? Because I've had experience in the past of folks snatching my mixes and blends and putting them on their mixes, and that's not happening. You know what I mean? When you listen, if you listen to 6 minutes of one of my mixes, guess what you're gonna hear?
DJ.
Somewhere in those 6 minutes, you're going to hear my name. Somewhere in those 6 minutes.
My voice.
Somewhere in that 5 to 6 minute set, you're going to hear my name.
Ooh.
Why? Because I want you to know.
Name.
I want you to know that that's me.
That's me.
That's me. You know what I mean? And some folks can take that as being arrogant. No, it's not. It's just claiming what's mine. That's all.
Me.
The watermark.
Yeah, that's all it is. That's all it is.
Like people when they order stuff from us, they be like, "Can I see it without the watermark?" No.
Yeah, well, you can after you approve it. You're not gonna get 75 of these damn things. No.
Like you can see it enough to approve it or not. Don't be extra.
Yeah. Oh, you take it all the way off. Oh, you can't. Oh, let me lighten it up a little bit. But it's still gonna be there. Which part can't you read? What part can't you read? Yeah, let me move it around a little bit. Okay. That's what she said.
Man, like,
You know what I'm saying?
wow. Well, okay.
I mean, but that's true though. And I would never tell anybody because we all. I don't know about Cyclops. I don't know what happened to that station, but domain's going now.
Pew pew.
Just leave it at that. Just leave it at that. If you want to try to reestablish with a different name, maybe we can set something up for that. Yeah, but that one's gone. I would never tell anybody. The only things I would say if somebody's sending a mix in, don't send me, Johnny's station mix. I don't want to hear you listening to blah 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 blah, and it is on my station. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear somebody else's station on the mix. I don't. Especially when you start the mix off. Yeah, you're listening to blah blah blah. This is the beginning.
I had a DJ do that when they sent the show in. I says, we can't play this mix. He's like, oh, I didn't know I did put that drop there. You didn't even know you put the drop there. Like it's the same drop you use for the other station. So what did you do? Send duplicates? He was like, no, like he's like, cause it was the show was totally different. So that's why I'm like, you couldn't say you sent the duplicate drop because a duplicate show because his show on our station was a different vibe for the other station. So
Got you.
yeah, I was just like, wrong station, sir.
Yeah, just like, look, man, send a generic joint in. You know what I'm saying? I don't need. And at the end of the day, I honestly don't need you unless you doing it. You don't need to throw
I need you.
well, I need you too. I don't need to throw a drop on it because at the end of the day, I can.
I could do it
put a
myself.
drop on. Yeah, I can do that. It doesn't take me long to do it. I can put the drops on there and get it done without any
Get
issues.
it done, son. Get it done.
Yeah, because why not? I'll make sure that's the first thing that plays. Because folks that are actually, in the background know how to, how these radio stations work. We know how that works. We know we can set the playlist up to where the drop plays, then the mix plays, then we know that we can do that. You know what I mean? It's really not hard.
It's not.
And honestly, it's not hard for me to just throw a drop on top of the mix. That's
Do
not
the
hard.
thing, a circle.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
I know how to do that. You know what I'm saying?
Well, Cyclops.
Cyclops.
Like, damn, he's sitting there with a microphone in his hand.
Cyclops. Yeah.
Being
Yeah,
good.
man, good.
Why not?
Why the effing not?
There it is.
That's so funny.
There it is. So, you know what I mean? I hope some folks learn, or was at least entertained by some of that conversation about the mixtape world and thereabouts, you know what I mean? Because I remember that kind of stuff. And artists selling their own personal music and all that, you know what I mean? That's good. That's good. And the station center, because we done did all this stuff.
All
You know
of
what I
it.
mean? We done did all this stuff. We done all managed, owned, and run multiple radio stations. Multiple radio stations. So if you're an artist out there and we ask you to send stuff, we can put them on.
We don't just be saying stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we can put them on multiple radio stations.
We're different over here.
Yeah. I mean,
They are not like us.
Well, I mean,
That was like the cutest way of saying it.
Yes.
Not like us.
yes. I mean, we can actually do this. It's not difficult. Song right, vibe right. We can, make it right. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So, talk to him, cuz.
I'm ready to go.
Okay, there it is. There it is.
Hey, when she says he's ready to go, he's ready to go.
You know, like,
Why not?
it's like, I'm going to say this really quickly. Cyclops, the other day, there was this picture of like this juice and these cookies. They was
Juicy.
like, if you from the church, you know what this means. It's that juice and cookie they give you after Sunday school. See, I knew Cycle was no. I'm gonna say this picture to see if you recognize it. It's just like when you go home, kids be like, before I do my homework, I need my snack. I need nourishment before I do my work.
Like, you just had lunch a couple hours ago. So, like I said, I want a snack. But
It don't matter.
the thing about it is, wherever they have, all right, so say you take your lunch to school, right? Wherever they take to lunch, it's still going to be the same snack after school. I'm like, really?
Wait,
you just had that. You just had a peanut butter jelly sandwich 2 hours ago. You want another one? Like,
Yes.
No, I want some ice cream. That's what I want. I want some ice cream. I want the ice cream that the only thing you remember is what that damn stick tastes like.
Oh my gosh.
That's all you remember is what the stick tastes like. You don't remember anything about that ice cream except that damn stick.
hey,
You know what I'm saying?
look, I was just about to say, we went through a whole show without talking about food. Dang, Quest.
My bad.
Yeah, we had to end that on a high note.
Hey.
And when we say the stick, we're talking about that little wooden stick That's inside.
I don't even know
raw
if that
ice
even
cream.
that's dangerous because it can like peel and
Yes,
she was,
because
oh my god, we
yes.
went through a lot.
Look at this wooden stick.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Boy, all those popsicles with a wooden stick.
You know what I'm
Boy.
saying? Hey, I got a splinter. I got carried
Oh
away.
my gosh.
The ice cream was too damn hard. I tried to scoop it and it broke the stick. What the hell am I gonna do?
Have you guys ever had that Italian icy?
Hey, be careful with that.
Oh, my
Be
God.
careful with that. Be careful with that. Got people rewinding. What was the minute? What minute did that happen?
Man, let me go. Okay, so you guys ever had the Italian icy where once you start like eat
Be careful how you say your words.
once you start consuming it, after a while when it's loose enough, you you flip it over because the bottom of the sticky part is like the best part of the icy. You ever did that before?
I have not done that.
Wait, what?
Okay, so the Italian ice, you know what Italian ice is, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So the flex on Italian ice is after you start eating a little bit, long as it's loose enough in the cup, you actually take it out and flip it over.
So it
Because
has
like
to be
the sticky
loosey-goosey.
sugar at the bottom
Gotcha.
is like the best.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. That.
So it has to be loosey goosey. Gotcha.
You know what? It's time to go.
Yeah. And on that note, God damn it.
Look at Cyclops. Fraud.
Well, nobody hear you, Cyclops.
He doing this. Yeah, Cyclops, do it. Do it like they be doing it. There you go. Your fingers can't keep up.
I'm trying.
It's time for the why not, 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 podcast, podcast with DJ Il Nino podcast Nino TQuest DJ Cyclops Cyclops.
Hey. Let's go.
I passed back over to him. That's right.
Ooh, Cyclops, that was a workout, huh?
Great
Yeah.
job, Cyclops. That's what we doing. That's what we doing.
Look, I tried to keep up. I really did. I was like, hey, next time I'm
Cyclops,
gonna.
I done seen you doing a lot of times.
I was like, yeah, I could do it. I'm just gonna, you know.
I see.
Yeah.
Now I gotta put my hands in the video. You know what I'm saying? I got treated. Put
You
my
gotta
hands in
show
the
your
video.
hands.
Show your hands. You know what I'm saying?
Show your hands, you know. Hey.
I can't say it. You know what I mean? You don't want to be like people freezing on the competition.
It would have been upset.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh my god, that's too funny. It worked. You know?
Hey, that free set is still
I ain't saying anybody in particular. I'm just talking in
let
generality.
it go, let it go.
And on that
I
note,
don't know Cyclops though. What the hell was that?
I don't know what he's doing either.
Yeah, on that note, you know what I mean? I appreciate all the people listening, viewing, whatever platform you're on. I am DJ El Nino. My baby's over there, but we're gonna let my peoples introduce itself first, and we're gonna end it off with the one and only. Talk to him, Cyclops.
Oh, I thought I was the one only. Oh, God.
Yeah, you are. You're special. You're special.
Yeah, y'all can follow me at DJ Cyclops everywhere. Mr. RB.
That's not where they can follow you. That's
Facts.
wrong. That is
You
not
can, you can follow me at DJ Cyclops 210.
There you go.
First of all,
Yeah,
watch your tone.
That's right.
Look, in my head, I said 210. It just didn't come out.
I'm so happy that
So-
you're in there talking to yourself,
There you go.
but you gotta talk to the.
So, yes, you can follow me everywhere at DJ Cyclops 210. I'm your girlfriend's favorite DJ, Mr. R&B, DJ Cyclops.
Not mine. Not mine, and she'll tell you right now. Talk to him, TQuest.
Well, since all of our fans and followers are already following me, for the new people that may listen to it after the fact,
Yeah.
you all can follow me on all
This.
major social media platforms at TQuestGLM.